guys, it's Madison and welcome to this very cloudy Saturday afternoon vlog. And actually I think it just started raining, so hopefully that sound doesn't get too crazy. But yeah, today I have a couple of time-sensitive writing tasks to complete in Korean, and so I thought I'd make a little writing-focused vlog with you guys. The first writing task is a bit of an impulsive decision, I will admit. So if you guys saw my vlog where I talked about my first speaking class that I signed up for, you will have seen that I'm very introverted, shy, that kind of personality. And in addition to that, I actually have stage fright a bit. So I do not like speaking in front of people. I often shake profusely when I do have to speak or do some sort of task in front of people. For example, my dad asked me to sing at his retirement ceremony, and I was shaking so badly as I sang the national anthem that when I went back to my seat, the person next to me, who I did not know, asked me if I was okay. So I definitely do not do well performing on stage or just in front of a group of people. So you might be surprised to find out that I signed up for a Korean speech contest, or I'm planning to sign up for a Korean speech contest. Please send your thoughts and prayers to me because I'm going to need them for this. So if you're wondering how all of this came to be, a couple of weeks ago, the teacher for that advanced Korean class that I'm taking posted a link in our group chat saying, hey, here's some information about this fall's speaking contest that the Incheon Free Economic Zone is hosting. Click and see if you're interested. You guys should consider it, blah, blah, blah. And so when I saw speech contest, I knew my little stage fright self was not suited for this event. So I didn't even click on the link or consider doing it for 1 second when she posted the link. And she mentioned it in class a few times. I said, yeah, no, I have stage fright. I'm out, not for me. Nobody else in our class was interested either. And she mentioned it a few more times. And this past Wednesday, she mentioned that, you know, the applications are not super high this fall so far, and you guys should really consider it because after all, the first place prize is 50만 won, which is 500,000 won, or like 450-ish American dollars. I'll put the actual conversion up on the screen, but when I heard that, I must admit that my ears perked up a little bit. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't realize there was a prize because, you know, I didn't click on the link. And that's a decent prize for just one little tiny speech that you have to give. And so when I heard that, I kind of changed my perspective. I thought, you know, Madison, maybe this is a good opportunity to practice our speaking, to practice getting out there and trying to combat this stage fright, and to possibly even win some money, because first, second, and third place all get prizes. And since apparently enrollment is not super high in this contest so far, maybe I have a decent chance of actually winning something. And so, yeah, I asked the teacher for more details about the event, like how big of a crowd is there expected to be? Like, can you get any extra info on what this will be like? Because again, even though I was kind of like, maybe I should, I was not sold on the idea. But yeah, after receiving her feedback that it'd be maybe 30 people max in the room and that the deadline was extended to next week, and you should really try it, think about it, I thought about it, and last night as I was looking at the requirements, I decided, you know what, Madison, let's just do this. Let's try out this speech contest thing. So that is how I made the decision to join the contest. For now, I'm feeling okay about it. We'll see if I actually make it to the final round where you have to actually stand on stage and present in front of people, if I regret it then, but so far I'm feeling okay with my decision. So my first task is to actually, of course, write the speech. When you do the first round, you have to submit a video of you giving the speech and the script for your speech. And so I need to write the script. The speech has to be under 5 minutes, which I hate that kind of range. Like, it's so vague to me. Like, how much under? Is it like above 4.5 minutes, above 4 minutes is okay? I don't know. I wish they gave a range of time that they are accepting, but under 5 minutes is the guidelines that I have. So I don't really have a good idea of how much written down stuff equals 5 minutes. So the first thing I'm probably gonna do today is record myself reading one of my past essays just to see how long of time it takes to read that out loud, just to kind of get a better idea of how much I need to write for the script. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to pound out a decent script for a speech that I'm going to give. Wish me luck. All right, step one is to read this essay and time myself reading it just to see kind of an idea of how long I'll need to write the script for it to be under 5 minutes. All right, so reading through 212 words took approximately 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So that means to get just under 5 minutes, I'll need, I guess, just under 400 words, if I calculated correctly. So yeah, off to try to write a 400 word-ish speech. All right, so finally I finished that rough draft of the speech. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a read through and time myself again to see if this speech fits into the under 5 minutes requirements. Let's see. Okay, so just finished reading through it. It ended up being 4 minutes and 16 seconds. I try to speak a bit slowly because I tend to speak very quickly, as you might know if you watch a lot of my videos, not only for clarity and for aiding my pronunciation being like very accurate, but also just because it's a lot easier to understand, and I think that speeches are a lot more emphatic if you kind of pause at times and kind of go more slowly through the ideas. And so I think that this 4 minutes and 16 seconds can be a bit longer if I do kind of go more slowly and more emphatically throughout the speech. And also I'm trying to factor in if I like pause and have to think of the next sentence and stuff, it'll add more time as well. I'm already realizing how difficult this is gonna be to memorize. Like, 4.5 minutes of talking is a lot to, have in your head. So I'm already getting a little bit nervous again about this idea, but for now, I'm just gonna kind of go through one more time, proofread it before I send off this first draft to my teacher to see if she'll give me any feedback on it. All right, I've moved to this less echoey location to film the outro. It's actually been like an hour and a half-ish since I finished proofreading my essay, but I went ahead and ate, took a break, and here I am closing out my thoughts for this vlog. I'm hoping the sun will last with me to film this whole thing because the sun is already setting. Is it winter or something? Because I feel like just yesterday it was summer and the sun was setting at like 8:30, but now it's not even 5:30 and it's already starting to get dark. Hopefully I won't turn all gray and blue for this outro, but we'll see. But anyway, I digress. Back to the speech. So like I said, I was proofreading through my speech one more time. I went ahead and altered some phrases that had been awkward to say as I was verbally reading them out loud during my time test, or that had been kind of pronunciation-wise difficult to say, like certain words back to back. So I went ahead and altered those. I also, as I had been like verbally saying it out loud and as I read through it again to proofread, realized that my ending was not really an ending. Like it didn't like naturally conclude what I've been talking about. It was very abrupt. And so I realized I should probably add more to that. I think when I first had written it, I was really tired of writing at that point and I just wanted to be done with my speech. And so I was like, yeah, that's fine. That's a good ending. But as I had spoken through it and then read through it again, I was like, no, that doesn't actually logically conclude what I was saying. I'm gonna have to add a more actual ending to this. So I went ahead and added a little more there. And yeah, by the time I actually finished the entire process, I think 2.5 hours had passed. That took way, way longer than I had anticipated. I'm not sure why I thought it'd go faster than that looking back, but I did not think it would take 2.5 hours of straight focus to get it done, but it did. And I'm feeling okay about it now. Not like amazing about it, to be totally honest. Honestly, what I ended up writing for my topic was not the topic that I had originally intended to write, weirdly enough. In case you're curious about what my topic was going to be and what it ended up being, the prompts for the topic, you could either do the given topic, which was like talk about one of your experiences like in Incheon, and I don't really have anything interesting to talk about there because I sit inside all the time. And then the other topic was just choose any topic that you want to and talk about that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with that one, the very open-ended whatever you want topic. And so originally I was planning on talking about my personality and how I've always been very quiet, a homebody, like I just said, and how I've always had a very small group of close friends, that kind of style. But then I had this 1-2 year period where I totally transformed into a totally different social style of living. I was very active, had a ton of friends, and had a wide social circle. And I was going to talk about like why those 2 years were different and how it impacted my life and my personality. But I was going to introduce that whole topic with a brief little introduction talking about MBTI, because MBTI and that personality test is hugely trendy in Korea right now. Like I think all of my students literally know their MBTI type. They all know like what all the personalities are. They can look at a person and be like, yeah, I think you're this one or that one. Even though I took the test and figured out my personality, I've actually already forgotten what it was, and I've never known what all the personality types were and like how they interacted and stuff. So I've never been that big on it. But these days, like I said, very trendy in Korea to know all the ins and outs of that. And so I figured it'd be a good way to kind of introduce talking about my own personality. But once I started writing that introduction, it got longer and longer and longer, and I was like, this is a bit long for a 5-minute speech that was supposed to be about me originally. And so I decided to kind of just change my topic to just being about the MBTI personality test and personality in general. And I think it worked out okay. what I ended up discussing was kind of how MBTI and its trendiness these days is actually a good direction for the world to go in, because in the past, people have been very kind of judgmental of personalities and kind of have thought that there's like a correct or better personality to have. And they might look at a quiet person and say, why aren't you more confident? You should just get out there and express yourself more, without kind of valuing the actual trait of being introverted or quiet, kind of judging people based on their personalities, and how that isn't great, and how now these days, now that people are kind of looking into MBTI more, it's helping people realize that there's a ton of different types of personalities in the world, and there's not one that's the correct personality or the better personality. It's just that we're all different. There's value in being an I, an introvert. There's value in being an E, an extrovert. And I'm sorry, those are the only letters that I know what they mean out of the entire MBTI. But, you know, there's value no matter what kind of personality you have. It's not worse or better than others. It's just, that's who you are. And so anyway, that's kind of what it ended up being, roughly at least. And so yeah, I sent it off to my class teacher because she said that she would be willing to help me out if I decided to do it, and I assumed that meant to proofread my script. So yeah, I sent it to her, and hopefully it's not too terrible. Like I mentioned, I am really nervous about having to like actually memorize this and give the speech now that I've written it and realize how long 5 minutes of talking actually is, or, you know, under 5 minutes, but close to 5 minutes of talking. And the deadline is actually the end of this upcoming week. I need to check and see if that's Friday or Sunday, I'm not sure, but that's only a couple of days. It's currently Saturday right now, and that means I have like 5 to 7 days to get feedback, make corrections, memorize this decently, and film myself giving the speech to submit for the competition. And yeah, even honestly thinking about this whole process right now that I've written it all out, I'm starting to get nervous and panic a little bit again. So I'm trying to stay calm, stay confident. I don't think I've ever been confident, but I'm just trying to stay motivated and excited about this challenge. It is a good challenge for myself. I've wanted to improve my speaking. This is a great chance to, you know, address that in some way, and hopefully all things will go okay. I feel like if I can memorize it well, and if I can kind of perform the video version of it well for the round 1 of the competition, I think, based on the fact that there's not a ton of applicants, I think I might have a chance of getting to the last round. Again, if I can memorize and give the speech well, that's not guaranteed for sure. And also, it just so happens that this upcoming week is midterms week, which is one of the busiest weeks of my semester. So that's another factor for that. But so that is the current state of affairs, and I think that's all I'm going to work on for today as far as active Korean stuff. At the beginning of the video, I think I mentioned I was going to do more than one writing activity because I was planning on doing a whole another essay today. Yeah, because I have homework due for that same class that is an essay, and after spending 2.5 hours of intensely focusing on that script earlier today, I'm not in the mental mood to sit down and work on an essay for another hour or two. So I'm gonna move that to tomorrow. It's currently Saturday evening and I have until Monday evening. So I have 2 whole days to still get that done, even without doing it today. So yeah, gonna skip that for today. Like I said, I'm gonna wrap the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this little chaotic, random, rambling vlog of me kind of panicking and working on this speech contest. If you also have stage fright of any kind and you have any tips for how to overcome it, I could definitely use those. Again, assuming I'm going to make it to the final round, which is a big assumption at this point. So yeah, any advice that you have, I will gladly read it down in the comments below. So please let me know your thoughts. And yeah, that's all for today's video. I will see you guys next week. And until then, annyeong.